Whoop.
Oh, I thought we were going to put the thing on.
And now.
Oh. Oh, are you playing it? Because I can't hear it.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rose. We cannot hear that.
No,
We can't hear your road.
Oh, really?
that's
Yeah.
true.
Shit. Interesting. I don't know what to do now.
Sam, I am from
Hello. We're here.
We're all here.
AC
Welcome
from
to
Midnight
live.
Media.
Oh
That's
my
what live
God,
is.
I'm like,
Yeah. that is
welcome
what
to
live is.
live.
Ain't nobody here yet anyway.
So we're good.
Yeah,
we're
we're
good.
Yeah.
Also, does her microphone sound okay?
Oh, you
You
know
see?
what? Hold on. Audio. Yep. You want to know why? It's connected to something else.
Audio.
Um,
The motherfucking audio. Motherfucking audio.
Okay, is this better?
Yeah.
Yes.
There we
Super
go.
better. Super much better.
And is this better now?
Welcome to another episode
Ta-da!
of Roses Are Red podcast with your host, Mrs. Red Rose, her co-host Sam I Am from the Married Couple Podcast, and AC from Midnight Media.
There we go. Now we've got it together.
Yes, we do.
Welcome to Alive. See, this is what happens when you're live. So you guys get the full effect of, yes, we are. I'm not perfect.
You're all human.
You sure are. Yeah, that doesn't matter at all. Every single live stream has something like that. Every single one.
Yeah.
So welcome in everyone to another episode of the Roses Are Red podcast. And we have, and I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July, a safe one, and you guys
Yes.
enjoyed your time with your families and friends. So I do want to say that. And I hope you guys had a wonderful 4th of July.
We did. I did. It was really fun. I
Yep.
did get a little bit too much sun, but that's okay.
A little
I'm
bit
living
too
with
much
it.
sun is an understatement. She got roasted. Roasted.
I did.
He's like a lobster.
I don't know that you can kind of tell without showing too much.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a lobster.
Yes,
Lord have
I
mercy.
am. It's
Got
not.
me lit up.
Hopefully by Sunday I'll be tan, but this was a pretty bad one. It may not go that quickly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Damn. I watched Betty, my new she turned 1, by the way. Betty.
Oh,
On the 2nd. Yeah, we had a little party for her and we gave her a cookie. That is
yay.
for dogs. Yeah. She dug it, but last night I just watched my dog freak out in her first 4th of July. Or
Oh.
Jackson doesn't, but Betty freaked out. So she was just like barking at everybody. So I watched my wife go to bed at like 11 o'clock and then I watched my dog bark. So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
Great.
Yeah. But America.
Yeah, America.
America.
It sounded like
fuck
my son last night. That's how my son was. America. And then he's walking around with the American flag,
America.
carrying it around as a necklace, all up and down the street. America. I'm like,
Dragging on the floor.
great.
Yeah.
I was like, great. Well, we have a very interesting story for everybody who jumps on and listens to us. We're talking about the Alex Murdaugh case. And I'm going to let AC take it from here, or Sam. I think it's AC that's got the beginning of the story, right? Yeah.
Sure.
And we'll go from there.
Sam, why don't you preface
Okay.
this case in a couple? Because I know you have it on the tip of your tongue. So go for it.
No. So the Murdaugh family. This is in what they call Low Country, South Carolina. It's based in a small town called Hampton, where the Murdaughs were, for the last century, have been what they call their, what is the word? It's not solicitors, circuit solicitor.
Solicitor General.
So a solicitor is kind of like a district attorney, prosecuting. However, rather than have one little area, they have like 5 counties that they service. And from Randolph up until Alex, there has been a Murdaugh in that solicitor office for at least a century. Go ahead.
right? I just want to ask you, like, it just like how, like,
I don't know.
like you know what I mean? Like, it's a long time.
Well, it is, and they all go in. They all follow the family, tradition of going into law. But not only that, they're
Crazy.
not only prosecutors, but they also had a firm that is like injury law, or things like that, wrongful death. So
Personal
they're
injury.
yeah, personal injury. So prosecutors don't make. I mean, they make decent money, but they don't make defense
Hey,
lawyer
Barbara, how much you make?
money. I mean, they make decent money, but these people were bringing in millions of dollars from their
It's a private
their
firm.
side hustle. Yeah.
They don't really work for the state. They're working for
Yes.
themselves.
But
And
yeah. And the Murdaugh family has been likened to being close to like a mafia. Like the Murdaughs were the boss of it. They called it the good old boy club. So, if somebody crossed one of the Murdaughs, especially the older ones, they would, find ways to make them unalive, or, or they grease palms so they could get away with certain things. That's and people had to pay dues to them, much like you would a mob boss. So,
protection.
Yes, the family has been, in power in that area for a very, very long time. So much so that when things happened to one of them, they know that somehow their family is going to try to cover it up, and most of the time they're not going to get jail time. So,
literally, good old boys club comes from this term right here.
Yes.
When we were just talking about good old boys club the last couple episodes, right? Couple episodes, it's like,
yep.
How can we cover this up? How can we get away with this as soon as somebody makes a mistake? Don't backpedal, just stay right there. Just even when they make a huge mistake, they come to the rescue. So, and that's
exactly.
the same thing with this.
Was he an attorney? Was his family like? Were all everybody attorneys? Were they all judges? Were they all?
They were all the solicitor. They were the circuit. Yeah, they're prosecutors, but they call it a solicitor there in the South, in the Low Country, as they call it. And they were very good friends. They would take police officers to sporting events, or I don't know what they did way back in the day when the first Murdaugh was there, but somehow they would, again, like grease palms, they would be like, "Oh, you're my buddy now, so if I need anything, you got me, right?
Everything.
Wink, wink. You'll tell me anytime something happens with my family, or not even my family. They're in the mix of it all. Even at Alex Murdaugh, the guy that we're speaking about today, when he was prosecuting, he would start his opening statements by pointing to his grandfather and his father's picture, or his great grandfather and his grandfather's picture on the wall, of the courthouse, or in the courtroom. This is why I'm going to win this case. See all this history? I'm amazing.
There's always been a Murdaugh.
Exactly.
Fuck you. Shut up, bro. I hate you so much already. And they're ginger as fuck, huh? They're like the gingeriest.
So gingery.
So ginger.
Okay, let's take a look at them real quick. Let's take a look at them visually, what they look like there for a moment.
And that's just three of them. Yeah.
And they're all
missing one more. I think the other one has the reddest hair, right? The oldest.
Yeah, his hair's.
Alex has like pumpkin. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've never seen someone so ginger, and like no eyebrows, like powder shit. You know what I mean?
You know what? I didn't even notice that until you just said that. I never even noticed that.
So to reinforce what Sam was saying, the Murdaugh family is an American family from the Low Country of South Carolina. They are circuit solicitor judges here. Circuit solicitors. That's words are hard already. The elected prosecuting attorney, right? So the prosecuting attorney is the Solicitor General.
Yes.
Right. And then in the 14th District, specifically from 1920 to 2006, the family's prominence led locals to the 5-county district Murdaugh country. Murdaugh country. In addition to the legal positions, Randolph Murdaugh Sr. established the Murdaugh family law firm, now called the Parker Law Group, which specializes in personal injury. So exactly what she said. And then fourth generation son, affluent lawyer Richard Alexander, or Alex Murdaugh, secretly led a life of crime including fraud, corruption, embezzlement, and a couple things that we'll talk about later. Okay.
Yes. So this is where we start, right? Kind
We
of.
can, yeah. So we can talk about the, the beginning of the Murdaughs and kind of go through here just to get an idea of their 100 years of somebody being in that seat. We were just discussing
They were
how corrupt you have to be to a certain extent to keep that. It's not even like, do you vote for that?
Right. I mean,
It's,
I think
it's
it
called
is a
Murdaugh
vote.
country. He's gonna win.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, regardless, they're going to go with, the people that they know. And, especially if they're running things like a mob, then,
Right.
Of course they're going
You
to
gotta-
continue to vote another Murdaugh in. You know
Yeah.
what I
And then
mean?
the cops are in the pocket. It's like,
Oh,
what are you gonna
cops
do?
are in the
Vote-
pocket, judges.
No Murdaugh? That's crazy. So from 1920 to 2006, members of the Murdaugh family served in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Circuit solicitors for the 5-county area for the South Carolina Low Country region for the 14th Judicial District. South Carolina Circuit Solicitor analogs, analogous to a district attorney. So basically, he's a district attorney. And in all these different counties like Allentown, Hampton, Beaufort, Jasper, and according to columnist Kathleen Parker, the justice system of the 14th district was regarded as rigged, and the local attorneys would make a motion to settle a case rather than to go to trial. So it was already in the pocket.
Mhm.
They wouldn't everybody, it was decided already. These things were just like a formality to go to that, which is clearly against the Constitution, and nobody's doing that. And so the Murdaugh family was one of South Carolina's most prominent legal families, and they were featured on the cover of for 1989 issue of Carolina Lawyer magazine. I didn't know that there was that. because the family's decade-long control of the office of the Solicitor General of the 14th District, they wielded enormous judicial power and political power for almost an entire century. Following several criminal incidents involving the Murdaugh family, members of the family between the 2010s and 2020s, their influence in the judicial system was scrutinized, obviously, because after a while, you're like, okay, fine, but you had it for 100 years, and that's pretty crazy in itself. But now you're like killing people. People are dying all around you. There's boat crashes. So
Hate
that's
crimes.
hate crimes, racism.
And it's crazy that the people in the area said that, not that they were happy all these things happened, but they were happy that Rome fell, in a way.
Right.
They were knocked out of their power.
You're under thumb of this regime for forever,
Yeah.
right? Like if you have like a beef with these people, that's like a forever beef. You're fucked. Like you have to move.
Right.
You
do. Or if things happen and people know things, I mean, they were paying people off to leave town so that they couldn't be reached, or
they had a hunting estate,
crazy.
so they were extremely wealthy, obviously, right? Really super, extremely wealthy. And they had
like a private little area, right? Like nobody could go in, and nobody could, nobody could go in past these gates that they had.
$3.9 million hunting estate. Yeah. So hunting. So it was just a little hunting area where they went, this is where we go get hunting, like we hunt them up, we go and get our guns and we hunt. And so they had that as a fortress, right? As a reinforced fortress, so they just go there. And then Randolph Murdaugh Sr., which is some notable members of the family. So Randolph Murdaugh Sr. was born in Barnville in 1887, which is a ridiculous number to say right now.
Right.
And right. And then the youngest son, Josiah Putnam Murdaugh II, a wealthy low country businessman, and Annie Marvin Murdaugh, they all got together. And all these grandfathers, basically, if you guys are watching along with us on YouTube or anywhere else, you can see that, most of these people attended the United States Navy. We're talking about the University of South Carolina ties, right? There are
Very
ties
much
to. So, and then the firm that they have in Hampton, which is 78 miles away from West Charleston, and a lot of these people, like Randolph Senior, who they married, he marries a girl named Etta Causey Harvey, and the two sons, Buster Murdaugh Jr. and then John Glenn Johnny Murdaugh Jr. These people are very, very white, and it's shockingly white, right?
Shockingly, yes.
And then by 1920, they Randolph Sr. became the Solicitor General of the 14th District, and then held the position until 1940. And then one thing leads to another, and then you're in power for 100 fucking
and then
years.
then Buster takes over, and then I don't know, keep going, and there's more that take over. So
Buster, and then 1920, Randolph Sr. became a Solicitor General, and he became the position until 1940, like I mentioned. And then John Glenn Johnny Murdaugh, right? He was from he lived until 87, so he had it through World War II. He was a World War II paratrooper, and then he held that position as well. So military, South Carolina ties. I mean, these people are like, can do no wrong. They are the law, right?
Exactly.
And then we come to Buster. Randolph Sr. was succeeded by his son Randolph Buster Murdaugh, who served at the Sit Circuit. Okay.
Words are hard too.
Wow.
From 1940 to 1986.
Thank you.
So for 46 years he held the office.
Wow.
I mean, well, yeah, and then another Randolph takes over.
But I wonder how many Randalls, like, Jesus. This is like a bunch of like roaches coming out of her. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they just have a lot of babies. They're fucking rich. They have a lot of babies. Yes. The more of them, us there are, the less of the pores. Yeah, fuck yeah. And then, then Buster was known for his chewing tobacco, and then his courtroom prowess and his flair for acting out murders. So he'd act out the murders in the middle of the courtroom, which is highly not something that you would do, right? So. And then he held that to in 1956. He indicted the federal grand jury for allegedly warning bootlegger to move his moonshine still in the neighboring county of Revenues, South Carolina. He was acquitted, and Buster retired in 1986, and he died in 1998. But that was like the reign of Buster, kind of there coming up to 1986. And then after that was Randolph Murdaugh III. Right after the first and second. Yeah, they keep having babies, man. They can't have motherfucking babies.
They got to keep that bloodline going. They want everybody. Right. They want somebody, a male, to succeed them and continue the reign.
Do you guys think I can say circuit this time? Do you think I can say the word circuit?
No.
Thank you. Buster was succeeded by his solicitor by his son Randolph Murdaugh III, now, who took office in 1986, the same year that the second Buster gave it up. He ran unopposed. What are the chances? In every election that he ever held office in until retiring in 2006. So he never had opposition. Nobody even tried to stop his family. Randolph III was married to Elizabeth Alexander. They had 4 children, including 3 sons. Randolph IV, because they can't think of a different name, and Richard Alexander, called Alex, in 1968. Both whom were entered pimped. What is that? PMPD? What does that mean?
That is the law firm. It stands for, I'm sorry, it's a bunch of names.
Parker
Murdaugh, something.
So
we'll
PM.
yeah, we'll find. Yes.
Pimps. We're gonna go pimp.
Pimps.
And then
we're gonna go
pimps. And then in 2019, Randolph III was awarded the Order of the Palmetto, which is that's like the top. South Carolina's highest civilian recognition by Governor Henry McMaster. So he retired in 2006, and he died of natural causes in June 10th, 2021. So just recently, a few years ago, we lost Randolph III.
After some of this all happened. So.
And then guess who becomes Solicitor General?
Alex.
Look at here. So Alex Murdaugh, the perp, the guy in question, the one that we're going to go into. Obviously, this is important to know because we're talking about an oppressive thumb for 100 years, one family, whatever they want, unopposed, just gross, right? Like not what America stands for. And here we're going to see it come to a screeching halt, and you guys are going to see how pretty quick. So when Alex Murdaugh takes the Solicitor General position. Richard Alexander, or Alex Murdaugh, was born in 1968. All right, he graduated from University of South Carolina. Of course he did, in 1990. And the University of South Carolina School of Law in 1994. He soon joined the law firm Pimped, volunteering part-time in the 14th district. Of course he did, because he got to get, that's his district, baby.
Right.
And Alex married Margaret Kennedy Branstetter. They called her Maggie, and the two sons, Richard, called Buster, because there's only 3 names that these people use, and then Paul. On March 2nd, 2023, Alex was convicted of the shooting deaths. Of the deaths of Margaret and Paul, and is currently serving 2 life sentences in prison without the possibility of parole.
Now they had a pretty, like, according to what I read up in the documentaries and stuff, they didn't have any signs of marital problems. There was no signs of from what people were talking about. Like, there was nothing there.
It depends on who they. It depends on who they asked, though.
If
It
you're the
depends
wife,
on
I'll
who
be
they
like,
asked.
shut up. You're married to the most powerful man in South Carolina. You think who are you going to tell? The cops? Of course, there was no marital problems.
It depends on when they asked.
I keep
They're
saying
close.
KFC
Yeah,
right now. Every time
but
he
when
talks like that, I think of KFC.
I know Colonel Sanders. I know. No, when they asked their close personal friends, usually the good old boys that were his hunting buddies and families of the like that were kind of in that inner circle of the Murdaughs, they were like, oh, they loved each other. Even his best friend, lawyer, who was also a lawyer in the firm, he was his defense lawyer. And he's like, no, they were texting lovingly, blah, blah, blah. She was just staying at this another place because of all the heat brought on by Paul. And we'll go into that. But then people on the outside that weren't in the inner circle, though they looked okay, happy. They said everything they should, but you could tell that they weren't really getting along. So she wasn't even staying in that home with him for a long time. She got out of the county because she didn't want to be there.
Right.
No, I'm gonna share this picture of what the family looked like. All of them. They didn't look like they were unhappy. You know what I mean? Like, throughout the pictures, they look pretty happy, right? I mean,
Well,
they look like
she
they're on
looked
fire.
happy.
They look like
She
they're on
looked
fire.
she looked pretty happy. She didn't look
you can
Wait, I
can't
can
tell
show
by
you
a
some.
picture.
I can show you some motherfucking pictures where I'm gonna look great, and my life is falling apart.
Mhm.
But look at the redhead. Damn, those jeans are strong.
Yes.
Yeah, big red. But like fire, man, like the fieriest fire. It's so ridiculous,
Yeah.
so ridiculous.
I don't know. Do you ever think? I don't know. Their eyes are a little weird. Not like I don't know.
This is the guy.
is
Remember
there
last
in-
week?
is
You're
there-
like, these are the guys that
is
weird
there-
me out with these eyes, right? These are the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my thought is, is there any inbreeding in this line? Maybe. I have no idea.
Certainly.
His eyes are scary.
Though. They are. They're beady and
Yeah, this is the guy you stay away from.
yeah.
Yeah, and a ginger, really ginger, super ginger.
Okay, well, I mean, ginger's okay, but like beady eyes, right?
Yeah, it's the
That's
eyes.
the eyes you don't like right there. Look at that, like dead, soulless eyes. Look at that.
Right.
Why is it that
Yeah.
every story we do, the eyes look like they're just empty? Do you know what I mean? Like that.
They're the
I don't
windows to
know.
the soul, my dear.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I know about eyes. So, Alex Murdaugh, I guess we'll start right here. So for generations, the Murdaugh family dominated the rural swath of South Carolina. Then Alex Murdaugh was accused of brutal murders of his wife and his son, Paul, remember? And what followed was the stunning unraveling of a life of power and privilege. Basically, these people wanted for nothing. They were super rich, and they were just the it family of South Carolina. So, but there was a bunch of embezzlement going on. There was drug abuse. There was ultimately murder, a boat crash. Maybe we should talk about the boat crash, or would you want to?
Yeah,
Kinda
let's just
confusing.
start with the boat
Yeah.
crash because that's kind of
That's the beginning.
where things start to unravel. So in February of 2023, February 23rd of 2019, fuck, that was a slip. Sorry about that. But
I
so
can't talk. So go
Paul,
for it.
yeah, Paul and five other of his friends. So it was pretty much three couples. They'd been friends forever. It was Paul and his girlfriend, his best friend and his girlfriend, and then another couple. And they were known to take the boat out, and they would go cruising on the river and just have a good time. I mean, and this is South Carolina, so it's probably not too awfully cold in February. They're able to do that. Paul typically would use his brother's ID because they look very similar and go get he would go get alcohol. He was only 19
Cigarettes
when
and
this happened.
alcohol. He can just, that kid can walk in anywhere and be like, "Here, please, don't have your brother prosecute me, please."
Right. So he's only 19 at this point, and they were going out. All the kids are drinking, and Paul at one point along the river says, "We need to stop for a shot at a bar," because again, they all had fake IDs, and nobody really told them no anyway. It's Paul Murdaugh. What are they going to do? Dad's not going to do anything. Just give him the alcohol. Well, Paul, when he drank too much, had an alter ego whom they named Tim.
Uh-oh.
And his hands would get all weird, and he was very shitty. He would hit his girlfriend. He'd talk bad to her. He'd be shitty to his friends, and they'd be like, so as they're driving back, he is smashed, and he gets pissed off because they're like, hey, let me drive instead. We're fine. We're having a good time, but please let me drive. His friend Connor and the other kid is Anthony, I believe. But Connor was the one who was like, hey, just please let me drive. And he was doing donuts and, going real fast. And he got really pissed off and wasn't paying attention. And because he was driving so crazily, Anthony and his girlfriend, Mallory Beach, were laying on the bottom of the boat because they were freaked out. They didn't want to go overboard. And sorry.
Totally different guy.
Yeah. So they didn't want to go overboard, and so they were laying down. All of a sudden, here comes the bridge. He didn't stop in time, and they smashed into it.
Yeah.
Anthony flew out, and he remembers, and he was 6 feet away from the boat. Mallory, his girlfriend, they could not find, but there was blood. She was the only one they could not find.
Where the fuck is Mallory?
Well, and he's freaking out. It's his, the love of his life. Anthony is. Paul's
Well.
Paul still doesn't fucking acknowledge that it's his fault and is being belligerent and smirking like, yeah, it was me. Anthony can be seen on the police footage saying, don't let him try to tell you it was somebody else driving. It was definitely Paul. Don't let his dad is Alex Murdaugh.
Of course.
Don't let him out of this. So,
and everybody knew it. It wasn't like a surprise. Like everybody was like, fuck, he's going to get out of this.
Right.
Yeah.
He immediately from the ambulance calls his dad, and dad and grandpa come up to the hospital. None of them, they don't worry about the girl who's still missing that they're looking for. Mm-hmm. They don't ask about any of the kids if they're okay. All they try to do is separate Paul from the police. They had to restrain Paul in the ambulance because he was so out of it. He was being belligerent. Tim had kicked in, and they had to restrain him. But Alex went around to all of the kids' rooms to make sure. They said it wasn't Paul driving. They were like, it wasn't Paul driving. It was Connor, right? And they were like, no, it was Paul. He went into Connor, and so Connor didn't implicate him himself. He told him to say, I don't know who was driving. I don't know. And also, to Paul's Connor's parents, Alex goes, "Hey, I've got this lawyer," enter best friend of Alex Murdaugh, who will help you through all of this, in case, Connor gets blamed. And they realize, oh, this is Alex's best friend. He's not going to do the right thing. And they hire a different lawyer. But it was really hard for them to do because everybody was in Alex's back pocket. So
Of course.
there's kind of the story with that.
Like pissing in the
Show you
wind,
what-
you know?
Let me show you what she looks like. This is what she looked like. She's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's her.
I mean,
That is her.
yeah. I mean, beautiful is a word, yeah.
I think she's beautiful. I think. Hi,
What's up with her
Jamie.
mouth? I mean, she's deceased. Don't make me do this, but like,
Oh my goodness.
her mouth is crazy.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's what you do, AC.
I mean, if
This
you're
is
gonna
why we
present it to
love
me,
you.
but if you're gonna present, if you wouldn't have said anything,
I think she's. I think she's
You're like-
beautiful.
like, look at this girl. So sorry she died, but like, that's going on a limb. You think she's beautiful,
Well, I think she's
I-
pretty.
pretty.
She
She's
was,
pretty.
yeah. So, I mean, but it ended up Paul being charged for involuntary manslaughter for the death of Molly. They did find her 7 days later in the water. She did not make the crash. And
Yeah.
there's a few other charges. The kid
Mm.
never had handcuffs on him. He was given $50,000 bail, and they took his mug shot that you see there in the hallway of the courthouse because of his family's influence.
Of course, you can't be seen there. That would be detrimental to. That's the one piece that would start to crumble the whole empire of Murdaugh. You know, if that starts with that, right? So in 2019, just like she said, this kid goes through this ordeal, but really his family was right there to catch him, and there's never any accountability, because I bet you no Murdaugh has ever seen accountability in the last 100 years. You know,
No, well, with
Just
the
'cause they're
exception.
'cause of their
With
position.
one exception. Yes.
Right, of course. Well, I was setting that up, right?
Leading up, yeah.
Right. So, I guess we can go to a little bit about kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Let's go here.
Yes.
There's another picture of the Murdaughs. Oh my God, so cool, so happy. Everything's cool, guys.
I don't know. The young one looks a little bit.
They all look fucking a little bit. They look like they're a lot of it.
Little touch. Yeah.
Little touch, bro. By the tism,
Don't you think
by the
his wife
tizzy.
looks like him? Like she could pass as a sister.
Boy,
Yeah.
yeah, man. They're all from that ilk. On March 2nd, Murdaugh, just going to cut to the chase here, a 54-year-old man, he's the guy who was born in 68, found guilty on 4 counts of murder of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh, who were in possession of the weapon during the crime. So 2 counts of the possession of a weapon during a crime. The jury needed less than 3 hours of deliberation to deliver the verdict. It's a high-profile case. I'm sure everybody was aware of it. Netflix did a documentary which totally reinforced it. HBO Max did something, and the trial began on January 23rd in Waterboro, South Carolina. It took the nation by storm. I mean, do you remember this? It did. It was ridiculous because of who he is. Look how much weight he lost.
Look how
Yeah.
skinny he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's crazy what jail does to you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's crazy what murdering
Yeah.
people does to you. Mm-hmm. If you took if the theory is that he's like lying for the kid, fine, okay.
I don't see any
doesn't bother
reason
me.
why I don't see any reason why Buster would have any motive to kill his mom and his brother. It doesn't make sense. I think it is Alex. So
I don't
but
know.
that's my thought.
Unless
Hey,
there's
now-
some money in there, unless there's like they were hitting hard time? Because I know that he was like embezzling money, right? He was
It was.
He was good at it too. Well, because he had all
Yeah.
the banking, the leaders of the banking, and they've gone down. They've been indicted for some fraud and embezzlement too. But
Mhm.
it's crazy
Yeah.
how all of it
Well,
unfolded.
the levels are
The
crazy.
levels, yeah.
Yes, unless she has some type of, I don't know,
I think she was trying to leave him, and to be fair, and I think their son was there wrong place at the wrong time, because
Yep.
they said he was never really inside. He was 22 years old at the time, and he never really stayed inside when he was home. He usually roamed the estate.
His
So I think he was like, oh, let me see where mom is, because she was down by the
down by the river.
no, by
I
the
don't know,
dog kennels. They have had hunting dogs.
Yep. Mm.
I keep going 50-50. I keep like,
Well-
I'm 50-50. Like a part of me wants to say it was him, and maybe because he was going around down the wrong path, he was going to get caught, he needed extra money, whatever.
He was a drug addict. He was going to lose it
Yeah.
all. He got disbarred. Like everything in the whole world was against him.
So, and then another part of me goes, maybe it's the son, because the son doesn't believe that he did anything. Like his other son's
Of
like,
course
it
he
wasn't him.
doesn't. The reason his son doesn't believe it is because his dad covered up something before for him back in
Mhm.
2015. So I mean, up until
You've never seen the hand of the judge.
right,
You've never.
up until whatever happened with the boat accident with Paul, everything would have been handled before charges would have been brought, or
Yeah.
they would have stifled the investigation. So
They didn't have a
I
mugshot.
think,
The mugshot was bogus.
yeah, it was in the hallway of the courtroom or
Mhm.
courthouse. No, that's bullshit. I mean, and the
Yeah.
kid was still awaiting 2 years later, still awaiting trial.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean,
Who
and
gets that? That's like
didn't even
tampering
have to
shit.
be processed. They didn't even take his fingerprints, for fuck's
Right.
sakes. So his brother, I get. So there was a murder that was initially pegged as a hit and run of a pedestrian
Mm.
that of a boy, 19-year-old boy in 2015. His name was Stephen Smith. The cops the sheriffs that were in the back pocket of Alex Murdaugh deemed it to be a hit and run. There was no evidence showing. There was no glass. The injuries weren't consistent. One of the highway patrol who continued to look into it, because he's like, this is fucked up. He
Probably got
goes,
fired.
most people. No, he didn't. Thank goodness. He was actually, if I remember, he was one of the people that Alex Murdaugh took money from and didn't know.
Wow.
Which is he had a personal
Same.
injury case, and yeah, it came
Insanity.
out after the fact. But he goes, most people who are hit by a car, their shoes don't stay with them. It doesn't
Right.
matter how tight they're tied, they don't stay with them. So this kid still had his shoes. He was placed there. His car was 3 miles away
Diabolic.
with the gas cap out, so he was out of gas. But okay, for one, he probably wouldn't have left it there. He left his wallet in his car and his cell phone. He didn't make a call. Where earlier that day he had called his sister saying, "Hey, I can't get my car started. Can you come help me?" So he probably would not have walked. And rumors are that Buster, the oldest son, so this boy was gay, that passed, that was killed, and they think he was telling his mom and his family and his friends that he was in a thing with a prominent
God.
person, and he couldn't say their name. So I believe he was doing something with Buster. Buster didn't want to get found out and got him. But even Alex's brother Kevin showed up on the scene with wanting to video the scene when they were investigating, but it was really to see what the police were finding. So I think Buster is going to definitely stand up for his dad because his dad took care of that for him. You know what I mean?
Well, he just filed a defamation lawsuit 8 days ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
because they're saying.
so oldest son of the Murdaughs, Buster, his son files a defamation lawsuit. This is June 27th.
Oh, wow.
Not
That
too long.
was
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
a week
Not that
ago.
long ago. Yeah.
So he filed a
That's
defamation
so true,
lawsuit
Jamie.
against several media companies and one individual personally, claiming the defendant's statements were defamatory and falsely accused the plaintiff of being involved in the murder of Stephen Smith. The lawsuit further states that Buster Murdaugh's reputation has been irreparably damaged and he suffered mental anguish.
No, for
Okay,
real.
Okay.
sure. And the lawsuit, like it's mental anguish and irreparable damages. And the lawsuit names Blackfin Inc., Warner Brothers Discovery Inc., Warner Media, Pages Inc., Campfire Studios, The Cinemart, Netflix, Gannett, Michael M. Like basically everybody who makes a movie or a documentary, he's suing them for the different things that they did, like Murdaugh, the Murdaugh murders, Deadly Dynasty, Low Country, the Murdaugh Dynasty, like all those salacious things. And he's suing each one of those folks. And then in 2015, just to recap, Stephen Smith was found deceased on Sandy Run Road, and the incident was initially declared a hit and run, like Sam said, and then the cause of death was undetermined. Right. However, the Alex Murdaugh, when Alex Murdaugh investigated, he didn't find anything because they investigated themselves. So, right. And then the murder of, what really set it off was the murder of Maggie and then Paul, and then the new attention that the Smith case in 2015 gave to this new fodder, obviously, which is a big fucking deal when your wife and son get murdered. And then his body was exhumed and a second autopsy was performed, and Smith's death was ultimately ruled a homicide. So it was a homicide in the end, although you kind of towards justice now because there's no more Murdaughs.
So Jamie said the people who think they are untouchable mess up the most.
Except for the 100 years prior to that. But yeah.
It's probably because he's broke now, probably. And hello, Juan. How are you? I don't know if you guys remember Juan from Stereo.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yep.
What's up, Juan?
Oh, what's up,
So
Juan?
yeah,
Welcome in.
So yeah, that's the latest with him. So he's definitely standing up for himself. He doesn't believe that anything happened with the 2015 case. He also believes that every media company in the fucking world defamed him and has done irreparable damage to his character, which it has. It certainly has. Like,
I mean,
you see that.
didn't his dad do that already?
If you see that cabbage-headed fuck somewhere, you're gonna be like, "Oh fuck, dude, look at Cabbage Head. You know, he's got problems."
Right.
You know,
It's just crazy to me that they just walk around not doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, just
it's crazy every week.
I know my bubble keeps busting up so much every week. It just like keeps chipping away, and I'm like, man, this shit really happens. Like, is this for real? You know,
more than you think.
It's just it's crazy. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay, so what happened in the Murdaugh case? Like what specifically is going on? So stop me if you guys want to do something.
Nope,
so a string of bloody killings and the mysteries involving the prominent South Carolina family has been filed with a wild chase of twists and turns, culminating in a murder conviction against the family's patriarch. So Alex goes to jail, and finally the 54-year-old sees some inside of the jail time other than being the Solicitor General. He comes from a prominent South Carolina family, more than a century of being Solicitor General, but the saga began when his youngest son, Paul, was involved in that fatal boat crash that we just kind of dissected. And then Murdaugh's wife, Margaret, and son Paul were found fatally shot. So they were shot at their rural hunting estate. So that piece of land that we said that it was $3.9 million estate. It was kind of like their fortress. That's pretty much where they were found, right? Where the kennels that Sam was talking about.
Mhm.
Hi, Jamie. Thank you for coming.
Hey, Jamie. So since then, there's been tons of curveballs in the investigation, including Alex Murdaugh's alleged money misuse. We're getting to that. That
He
led to
had-
his disbarment.
He had like 50 counts of fraud and embezzlement brought up
Amazing.
on him. And
He's-
then after those came to light and he lost his job and he went to rehab, they allowed him to do rehab. Then they decided, oh, now we're going to charge him with their murders.
Look how red this guy is, dude.
Yeah.
He's like you.
I know. Only I think that's
Like-
just his natural color.
So since then, there's been a bunch of curveballs, and then this is important because he was disbarred. He admitted to his opioid addiction and assisted suicide attempt involving an alleged $10 million insurance fraud.
Oh, yeah, that
Rose.
was insane too.
Rose. So that's what we're talking about with the money. So it's not like it's not foreign for him to do insurance fraud. He did it. So a $10 million insurance fraud scheme in a high profile murder trial. Like all these things happened all at once, and the guy was effed in the A.
Well, yeah. So shortly after, a few months after Paul and Maggie were killed, he was said to be on the side of the road changing his tire.
Mhm.
And he said he had been shot by someone and it hit his head. And it came out, and initially he said, oh, this person's younger than me. They have short hair. He was giving a description. Then it came out a distant cousin of his who was not named Murdaugh. It was another
What?
Smith. He had said, I'll pay you to kill me because he wanted
What?
Buster to get the $10 million.
Kill me.
But
pay
I'm
you to
still
kill
not
me.
sure. I'm still not sure that's why he did it. I think
Right.
he was thinking he was going to be found out for Paul and Maggie.
Yeah.
And if there looked like there was another attempt on their lives because of, what Paul did with the accident, I feel like that might have been his motivation for it.
That's his motive.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I mean, because of that, then they start looking into all these fraud cases as well. And that's where they found their maid, who also served as a nanny, who
Let's not
in
forget about the
2018
maid.
she
Mhm.
felt in 2018 Maggie calls the cops and says, hey, my maid fell down, or my maid hit her head. I need an ambulance. And they're like, and she goes, how did she fall? Oh, it was down our brick steps. And she said nothing about the dogs, but initially she was like, oh, the dogs tripped her. Well, he gets on the phone and ambulance and everybody's on the way. And they start asking questions of like if she had history of strokes. He goes, I don't know why you're asking me so many questions. And the 911 operator goes, hold on, they're on their way. This is just me trying to give them more information to help the situation. Well,
Yeah, he's already defensive.
Maid died, and she had 2 children. They were adult children, but he went to her and said, I have insurance, and you see my best friend Kevin again. I'm pretty sure his name's Kevin. Go to him and he'll help you get squared away. You're going to get that insurance money because it was like a wrongful death. It wasn't his fault, but he had the insurance to cover it.
Right.
And what he ended up doing is there's a corporation called Forge, and it's a legit company. But rather than when the insurance claims were paid, which was like $4.3 million, that should have gone to the maid's kids. They wrote a check that just said Forge. He went and opened a bank account
Sick.
under Forge under his name and said doing business as Forge. Put the money in there and proceeded to have that account be where all of that money went. There was a multiple other accounts, but
You gotta be shitting me.
yeah.
Like it's a hunger, it's a lust to be powerful, to be on top, even though you're addicted to opioids, even though you're embezzling money, your law firm is being sucked dry by you. You're living this lavish lifestyle. You have a $3.9 million hunting fortress,
Right. I mean, and that's how
they thought they were untouchable.
they did. He thought
they were. If they wouldn't have fucked up. If they wouldn't have fucked up, like if they just would have not been on fucking drugs and super drunk and like crashed a boat, this would have been.
I mean, had he
Probably,
not tried to save his kid from that, I mean, I think, I don't know.
it would have weakened his position. That's probably the thing. It's
Right.
like you know that's why.
However,
Not only the dad, but like the granddad came and they were like, "Shut it down, shut it down. You're gonna need a picture. Take it against the wall. What's going on? He's not going to jail. No,
right.
It's the Solicitor General and the old Solicitor General. I own
know.
you, and you know, so people can kind of understand that there's no way out. There's no like rationalizing this and going home. You know?
No,
I'm surprised he hasn't pleaded insanity or something. You know what I mean?
no.
Everybody
He
pleads
only-
insanity.
When he was on trial for the murders, he admitted to the embezzlement on stand, but he still pleads innocence for the murders. Yet they found blood spatter. Again, it was interesting to me, all of his inner circle, all of the lawyers and hunting buddies and everybody that they talked to that were in his inner circle was like, he'd never do that. He was, the nicest. They had the best relationship, blah, blah, blah. And then
Bubbles
everybody
bursted
else,
that day.
yeah, for real. And then everybody else was, and they stood by, even though his defense attorney, who was, again, his best friend, who was his son's lawyer, he goes, by this evidence, there's no way they can convict him. He must have not done a very good job of proving that evidence
Not
wrong.
very good at all. So, well, hey, speaking of which, April 18th, 2019, Paul Murdaugh charged.
Yep.
Paul
And
Murdaugh
on
was
that
charged
note,
with.
oh, sorry.
Yes.
I'll say on
No,
that
go for
note, let's do a quick shot, everyone.
I'm drinking
Everyone's
straight
ready.
rum tonight, so
And
we're
I'm
good.
we're going to do a shot of tequila real quick. And AC
I'm with you in spirit.
is
I'm with
going
you in
to
Yes.
do us in spirit right now. So cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Probably read better.
We were we have typically done a signature cocktail for these shows. I do apologize. I'm still out of town. A good one would have been the one we did for Micah Miller's, though. So if anybody's watching, that sweet tea and vodka would it's this area that really is prevalent for that. I looked it up today and I was like, I don't think I have that. But since
I'll have
I'm
a
not
sweet tea and
home,
vodka. Sweet tea and vodka, baby. Thank you so
it's
much.
actually really delicious.
I hate sweet tea.
It is. And
hate
if you know how to
sweet tea.
make it just right,
Mhm.
it's
I usually do
super
half
simple,
and half, so it's not too sweet.
you
But
know.
You know how to
it-
make sweet tea just right? So
take
like this,
out
you stir it
the
up and you
sweet.
fucking just pour that bitch down the fucking drain. Sweet tea's gross.
I love sweet tea.
Like Popeye sweet tea. Like I get it.
Oh,
When it's good, it's good.
again, I do half and half, so it's
Mm.
not as sweet because
Okay.
I can't do over like McDonald's sweet tea.
Arizona
I
iced tea.
think-
Arizona iced tea. Perfection. Perfection.
I can't do Arizona. I cannot.
Why? Why?
It's
I'll
just
brew
too
it
sweet for
myself.
me.
Too sweet. And but you
Yeah.
like sweet tea?
It has to be for certain places. I just can't go to, any
Anywhere.
place and have a sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't go
I-
go anywhere to have a sweet tea.
I'm picky.
I'm so picky that I just don't pick it.
So
That's not the thing I pick. So he was charged, guys. What a segue. Paul Murdaugh, guess he didn't have a good lawyer because he was charged with multiple felonies, including the boating under the influence in connection with the boat crash. He had pleaded not guilty to all the charges and faced 25 years in prison if convicted.
now, is there anything how the mom and the son got murdered? Is that,
Yeah, we're getting
I
to
know
that.
they were by. Okay.
Chronological, yeah. That way,
Yeah.
we kind of introduced the family, and then we went to the boat.
I thought we were already
family,
there.
the
Sorry,
boat.
my bad.
Yeah, now we're getting convicted for the boat, and then comes
Mm.
the good juicy shit, right?
He never got convicted for the boat. He never he was getting ready to have trial right around the time he got murdered by his dad.
Right. But he did get indicted at least. At least he was indicted.
Yeah, well, he didn't have to do anything but the courtroom picture.
Yeah,
So
at least, I mean, I'm trying to. Of course, nothing's gonna happen to these fucking people. June 7th, 2021. Margaret Murdaugh and Paul were found dead. So right where Rose wanted to be. Margaret and Paul Murdaugh were found dead near the dog kennels at the family's near Islandton, South Carolina police said the Colleton County Sheriff's Department said that both victims were suffered multiple gunshots each. Seems their bodies were discovered by Alex Murdaugh. What a surprise! Oh my God, it's Daddy. Excuse me. Their bodies were discovered by Alex Murdaugh, and told authorities that he had been out at the time, and the shooting had happened when he was out at Walgreens, and found
He
his
went
wife.
to see his elderly mother who had dementia. Nobody.
What?
He says that he called ahead to her in-home nurse to make sure the door was unlocked or whatever. They can't corroborate that story, and the one person that could has dementia and would never make it on stand because she
Imagine
don't
that.
fucking know.
Like it made
So
like a thought like a true lawyer. A true lawyer is like, you know what I'll do? I'll visit my mama, and she's got dementia. She'll never know I was there.
they believe that they were shot before he left, and he was like, "Let me go see my mom real quick, and then I'll call the cops."
Right.
I don't know. So
What was it called? The plausible deniability.
hmm
Their bodies were discovered by Alex Murdaugh, and then he found his wife and his son. And at the time, Paul Murdaugh was awaiting trial for the deadly boat crash, so really suspicious timing as well. Duffy Stone, the 14th Circuit solicitor appointed in 2006, the first non-Murdaugh to hold the position since 1920, recused himself from the case because of personal reasons. Yeah, he's this fucking boy. Right? So like you have to recuse yourself if you are prosecuting, and you're too close to it. And then June 17th of 2021, Alex Murdaugh's brother speaks out on Good Morning America. So much later than we see this guy Randy Murdaugh, which is his bro. I wish I had a picture of him. I can bring that up. Spoke on Good Morning America.
John was his brother. Randy is. Are they both his brother?
John Marvin Murdaugh and Randy.
Okay.
And Randolph Randy Murdaugh.
Okay.
Wow, that's 5 times fast. John Marvin Murdaugh and Randolph Randy Murdaugh. Marvin Murdaugh and Jesse. I hate these people so much. So they talked about the murders of Maggie and Paul, and they said they didn't believe their brother was involved in the killings. So here we have backing for Alex.
Of course, they're going to back him up. Of course they are.
My brother loved Maggie and loved Paul so much they like nothing else on earth. Just like he loves his Buster and Randy and the other Alex. And so there's no possible way he could have anything to do with the killings, I assure you, quote. And then June 22nd, they opened a probe on the boat crash on 2015 with the other murder of the gay kid Stephen Smith in 2015.
Yes. Yep.
And the SLED announced that it opened up the investigation against the 19-year-old, and the evidence was gathered during the course of the investigation into a double homicide. So now it's like escalating into all of these different things, and now it's like crescendoing with a double homicide that came to bite him. So it's not a good year. It's not a good couple of months for these people. It's pretty bad.
No.
So I want to show you. This is where they found the bodies, kind of like a description of what it looks like. So this is where the kennel was, the dog kennel house. And if you see there's they found one body here and another one over here on the storage.
Don't you all have dog kennels at your house? Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's for their hunting dogs, they got to have a place.
Right.
It was interesting. He shot, allegedly, I mean, he has been convicted, but, we should say that, I guess. But he shot Josh in the front with a shotgun, once right at close range, right in the chest, and then again in the head. Because of the placement of the shot, with a shotgun at close range, it does a shit ton of damage. Probably didn't need to shoot him again, but they said his head was almost severed.
Of course. Point blank range, 12 gauge.
Yes. And then Maggie was shot with an AR-15. And it was as if she was running away from him initially, because she was shot in the, and he was working his way up the body. So ankle, knee, chest, and then she fell, and then final to point blank range in her head. So
just to Mozambique, just to fucking make sure, double tap, pop, pop. Make sure she's gone.
And they think that's, I mean, he had blood splatter, and it wasn't as if he picked them up and was like, oh my gosh, my loved ones. It was a splatter as consistent with the headshots from the AR.
He's rubbing it on himself. Oh fuck yeah!
I mean, he would have been smarter to do that.
Right?
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, yeah, it's true.
One little splatter as opposed to, oh, my poor wife, I'm cradling her deceased body.
I would just fucking grab it
and
and just like wipe it on my face, like.
Well, maybe not. Like, we don't want to.
I love you, man. I love you, man.
I mean, even look at him here. Okay, he's got the sheriff's department there, right? He just found out his wife passed away. He doesn't look like he's even devastated. You know what I mean? Like, I just fucking lost my kid and my wife.
In the perfect world, what would that look like to you?
Maybe I don't know, crying and
crying.
He just lost his wife and his son. Like, he just looks nonchalant. I mean, like, something, feeling. He doesn't look like, his face just doesn't look like
if he was doubled over in pain and like with a blanket over him. You know what I mean? Like sitting on the ground.
That might have been after. Yeah, I don't know. It's
like, you know what I'm saying? Like those when I don't.
The 911 call was frantic, but it was more like put on frantic. You know what I mean? Like he was acting.
And then people always overact that shit. Always,
of course.
Always.
Yeah.
She's not breathing.
I don't know. It's odd to me.
Which part?
Really odd to me. The whole scenario. It's odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think throughout, I mean, in pictures and things, there was more emotion from him in the courtroom because he knew he was fucked. You know what I mean?
It's different.
Yeah, he was caught. Yeah. He recently, just in April, was convicted of the fraud and the embezzlement. They say that they didn't have, but he got 40 years on top of his life sentences. But they're trying to get the murder trial overturned, or appealing and things. And so even if that happens, he'll still be in jail for the rest of his life. So.
And then after the documentaries they've made, of course they should make them, but they're done. Once there's like 5 or 6 documentaries made about you, good luck. You're never gonna crawl out of that hole you're in again, ever. It's very hard. The media will dig you, and rightfully so. So by June 25th, the Murdaugh family announces a $100,000 reward for any information. Can you help us get out of trouble? We'll give you $100,000. Alex Murdaugh and his son Buster announced a $100,000 reward for the information leading to the arrest and the convictions of assailants involved in the murders of Maggie and Paul. So this is where we're at. People believe it's them or him, right? It's either one of them, and then they put up money. So at this point, you're like, okay, why would you put up money? Is it to like lure away the scent, right?
A smoke screen? Yeah, probably.
Subterfuge.
Especially, I mean, he was trying to make it be like, oh, Paul has been getting death threats, blah blah blah. It had to have been somebody that didn't agree with him not doing time yet, or the upcoming, and so that's what initially the media went with. Like, hey, it's probably retribution for the boat accident.
Right.
Again, that's why I think Alex had his distant cousin shoot him. I don't think it was the insurance at that point. I don't think he wanted to go. I think he was like, oh, this exactly. This even furthers the scent, from me.
Of course. Right. Exactly. Like
until they caught the guy and they're
right.
Do you guys want to hear the 911 call?
Love to.
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Fucking love 911.
There we go. Here we go.
911 with your emergency. This is Alex Murdaugh at 4147 Moselle Road. I need the police to answer immediately. My wife and child just got badly. Okay, you said 4147 Moselle Road in Allison?
Sir?
You said 4147 Moselle Road?
You know where I live. It's Alex Murdaugh.
Yeah, everybody knows where I live.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Stay on the line with me, okay?
Conner County Communications.
Carlton, I have an Alex Murdaugh on the line, caller from 4147 Moselle Road. He's advising that his wife and child was shot.
Okay, and sir, give me the address again.
It's 4147.
Fucking A.
Get up to it now. It's bad.
Okay. Okay, and are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Are they in a vehicle?
No, ma'am. They're on the ground out at my kennels.
Okay, and did you see anyone? Okay, is he breathing at all?
No.
Is she? Okay, do you see anything? Do you see anyone in the area?
No, ma'am.
Bro, you're doing too much.
No,
You're
ma'am.
doing too much.
What color is your house on the outside?
Doing
What?
way too much.
Does that sound fake to you, or
Hell
is it
yeah.
just me? Like
Hell
it
yeah.
just sounds like so. You know.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
like it's
like he
Alex
made
Murdaugh.
himself- yeah, it's like he made himself hyperventilate. You know what I mean? It just
Being
I
around
don't- it
victims all the
doesn't seem
time
genuine.
and brutal
Yeah.
people and like things like that. He's a prosecutor. Like you're so out of touch with like actually what they sound like. You have more access to that. If you wanted to listen to it and really sound like you could do it. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm not
I don't
saying
either.
I
I
would
mean-
be the best. I wouldn't be the best criminal, but I don't think I would do these things. You know?
Same. It wasn't it his grandpa who reenacted the murders in court. So I mean, I don't know.
He's got a flair for
he
the
had his-
traumatic.
Yes, exactly. Maybe it just runs in the family.
Yeah. We're a bunch of actors here, okay? So after the $100,000 reward was put up, he puts out the thing saying, "I want to thank everyone for their incredible love and support that we have received over the last few weeks." Murdaugh said in the statement, "Now is the time to bring justice for Maggie and Paul. Buster and I, along with Maggie's mother, father, and our entire family, ask everyone to please help with the information. Should immediately call the SLED tip hotline to Crime Stoppers." So they put out this beacon. Please help us. We need to find the monster. September 3rd, 2021, we chug along. Alex Murdaugh resigns from the law firm. Boom, boom, boom. Because he was stealing from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Murdaugh officially resigned from the law firms of Peter, Murdaugh, Parker, Ellsroth. And that's what the pimped spells
Yes.
out. And Derek. It's a mouthful. And based in Hampton, South Carolina on September 3rd, but he publicly announced his resignation days later. And then what it says is, let's see. What does he do? Oh, we're just crying. I'm sorry. You got to go. Oh. And then on September 4th, 2021, Murdaugh calls 911 and saying that he was shot himself. So a major twist in the case is when Alex Murdaugh called authorities saying that he was shot in the head. Everybody shot in the head. Everybody shot in the head in Hampton County on September 4th. A family spokesperson said ABC. He was changing a tire, like Sam said, and someone in the car shot me. You alluded to this earlier, right?
Mm-hmm. I did.
So, the SLED then said in a statement that that he was shot in Old Scacalchi Road. I'm going to take a shot at that. In Varnville, South Carolina. This is the most extremely white places I've ever lived. Scacalchi Road in Varnville.
Yeah.
He was transported to a hospital in Savannah, Georgia, in civilization, where treatment of a superficial gunshot wound to the head, the local department said. The family spokesperson later said and offered clarification regarding the shooting, said Alex had an entry wound and an exit wound in his skull. So in and out. It was fractured and it was not self-inflicted. The bullet wound was. So already they're saying that it was not self-inflicted. He did not kill himself or try to. A male driver in a blue trip pickup asked him if he had car troubles, and Alex replied he was shot. What? So kind of an incoherent story. How did it go in and out? Did he hire somebody obviously to shoot him?
He did. Yep. He did. But he was saying initially he was like, "Oh, it wasn't. It was some guy, younger, short hair, and then he was like, nope, psych, it was this guy, and
Right.
who was probably older than Alex and long hair. Definitely looks like he belongs in the backwoods of the Low Country.
Just a
But
hillbilly. Just a
yeah,
hillbilly.
very much so. There was a photo or a video of them arresting the guy that shot him, and he was like, I don't know, growling at the camera. I was like, well, that dude's on drugs. Like, or, I don't know, he was like, or something like that. I don't know. He was being
Yeah.
trying to be
Love it.
coy, I guess. I don't know.
Fuck.
But
What a time to be coy.
it came
What a
out,
time.
later on that he was paid to do it, and
Of course.
again, I still don't really think it was for the insurance money.
No.
I think it was truly
It was
to
the
pull
best
off
money because it was
the
10
stunt.
million. Right? It was 10 million.
Right. 10 million, yeah.
A hell of a payday.
Oh, it is. I mean, and he thought, that, I'm not going to get it if I commit suicide. Usually that's only a 2-year,
Right.
a 2-year period for that. But
After he was shot 2 days later, he went into rehab.
mhm.
Now, what was his drug of choice? Like, what was he?
Opioids.
Okay.
Yes.
And which are, for the layman in the back that may not have a street pharmaceutical degree.
Oh, that's like,
He's tall as hell.
No,
Opioids is Oxy. It's Oxy, right?
Oxy. Yeah, Oxy. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how tall he was until right now. He's really fucking tall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'm looking at all the police officers around him. I'm like,
He's
damn,
Larry.
he's
He's
tall.
Larry Bird tall.
One of the things that one of the people on one of the documentaries said is, we live in a part of the country where people are trained in guns and they don't miss. So that's what put the doubt in my head that he actually wanted to have somebody kill him, like assisted suicide or whatever. Because I don't, that, like the guy said, people are trained and they don't miss. If they're going to shoot you, especially like that, they're gonna hit you. So that's what made me think maybe it wasn't for the insurance money.
So this guy Curtis Edward Smith was the shooter, right?
Yes.
For
Yes.
the guy who shot his head, right? Let me just share this man's photo because it's like, what?
He definitely does not look like the description that he gave 911. I'll tell you that.
No,
Nope.
not at all.
Where'd it go?
Got it.
Definitely a description of, okay. But you know what? He doesn't even seem like a description even of a crackhead. That kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe because he's already been cleaned up and,
That's cleaned up.
Well, I'm saying, like,
God damn.
I've seen worse. Okay, I've seen a lot worse.
Sure.
Look at 911.
But that's not good.
When he was arrested, though, there was that one video, but he looks a little cuckoo. You know what I mean? But he's
got the beady eyes too. He's got the grape eyes. The grape eyes.
Yes,
I'm looking at that.
Grapey.
Okay, I'm
Very
just looking at that
grapey.
eyebrow. Okay, looking
The
at
one
that
super
eyebrow.
arch, the one that's super arched like that.
Yeah,
He did that on purpose. He was like, I'm going to raise my eyebrow for this picture.
I'll be a
which I
villain.
cannot do.
like,
Charged with assisted suicide, battery, high aggravated nature, pointing and presenting a firearm, insurance fraud, and conspiracy to commit. You're gone, bro. You're gone.
okay, but where did this guy come from? Like, do we know? Like, did he work for him?
He was a client, and they said a distant cousin, I believe.
Well, then they're all related.
That's South Carolina, y'all. South Kakalaka. Yep. And then he was arrested in connection with the September 4th shooting, which he conspired with Curtis Edwards, and to assist the committed suicide of explicit purpose of allowing a beneficiary to collect the insurance. So that was a hardcore charge to go down. Like, this whole fucking sentence was nasty. Like this, oh my God.
Is there any possibility, do you guys think, that maybe
You guys are a
he's
mess, bro.
covering up for
Like I can't cover his
son,
shit.
or somebody that maybe somebody else did it, but he's covering up and taking the blame. Like, do you think honestly?
In what position? He can't even help himself, much less help anybody else.
Well, here's the thing. What if
And
he
how
thought
would
he couldn't
how would
get
he
in
pro-
trouble?
But
What if he thought he was untouchable? I'll take the blame because I'm untouchable. Don't worry. Sit back. Let me, you know what I mean? Like, he thought he was untouchable. I don't think he really thought he was going to get this much.
I don't think anybody thought. No Murdaugh thought that, because no Murdaugh has seen anything in 120 years. You know,
Yeah.
like a whole family is just a piece of shit. Like imagine by the second generation, just like nobody's ever like seen accountability. Like you're just a monster. Like you make monsters that don't know what the price of $1 is. That if they break something, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like just animals.
Yeah.
I don't think the only thing I think he covered up was Stephen Smith, and again, that's not been proven yet.
And the boat.
In the boat, I think.
Well, he wasn't covering up the boat. He killed
He wasn't
maybe
there for the boat though.
No, what I'm saying is maybe he killed his son Josh, and this is just me thinking out loud.
Crazy.
Maybe
Wow.
he did it so he didn't have to go through trial because it would make him look bad. And then his wife, because she was planning on leaving him because she didn't want to be around him anymore because he was a piece of shit. He probably treated her bad too. He probably had an alter, and this is just going off of Paul, his son. He may have had an alter ego just like his son. Who knows?
That's for sure.
He thought he was God, it feels like. I mean,
Exactly.
the whole family had a dynasty of, and
imagine everybody in your family all around you like knows that they're untouchable, and like the place you are at, the place that you chill at, your crib, is called Murdaugh country. Like your last name country. What do you think you can not get away with? Like you're just it's anything you is your playground. Like let's cocaine's and hookers all right on the lawn. Just bring the cocaine and the hookers. It doesn't matter.
It was said that he may have had a mistress. And again, his wife was not living in the same. She was not staying at their estate where she was killed. He was said to have mistresses. And because they wonder where all the money, because it was like $10 million that he embezzled or stole from people. And they're wondering where the money went. Does he have it squirreled away? Was he using it on another family? There's no way he could have even spent all that money on drugs. He'd probably be dead if he was taking that many drugs.
You're taking that many oxys, dude, you're gonna die for sure.
And especially living in where they live, the cost of living, even though he lived a fairly, he lived a very comfortable life, he wasn't.
It was still by South Carolina standards.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly it. So they're still wondering where the money all went. Who knows?
That makes sense. Yeah, of course. And their hunting lodge alone is $4 million. Like they're chilling. They're big chilling.
But that probably was in place before he started embezzling. I mean, it was in 2018 that he, somebody pushed his maid down the stairs.
Right. And it's funny you say that, because October 14th, 2021, Murdaugh arrested and charged in a connection settlement for the funds of his housekeeper's death.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, the 14th.
He got the money and kept it himself.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the one where he put it into the fund that looked like it was, into the bank account that looked like it was going to some settlement company so it could be paid out to her children, and it was paid directly to him.
Dum pum pum. And
now, do you think maybe possibly him and his son, because maybe he might have covered up for the first, incident, that maybe him and his son might have been in cahoot, and maybe the wife might have found out, or the other kid might have found out, we're doing something, so they both went in cahoot to kill both of them?
I don't think so. I think the wife knew about all of it. Again, she's the one who called 911 when the maid fell down the stairs. So she was there. She was in cahoots. They were all in cahoots. The whole family was in cahoots. All of them were. I think she was going to leave him, and he was afraid she would rat everybody out. even though she
Right.
had
When they're-
culpability in it all. You know what I
Think
mean?
about it. When there's a family like that, they're very, very. It's like a glass thing. Like it's very. At any moment, somebody could. That's why you have all those people in your pocket. You're like, I don't want to spend money on having people on my payroll in my pocket. The reason you do that is so you're impervious. Like nothing can get through, because one little piece of like shit that you do during the day will fuck your whole life up. Or like one thing that your nephew does with the same last name as you. Now you're trying to run for office or be Solicitor General, and you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one little thing. That's why they have to live this like piece of shit, like glass house existence,
Well,
and they have to not. They have to be careful.
Most marriages like that don't, especially in something like this, they'll stay
Yeah.
together even though they hate each other. They may
Yeah.
not live with each other forever, and they may have mistresses and affairs, but they have so much
It's
dirt
not
on
good
each
for
other.
the ocular.
It's not good for the
ocularly,
image.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not good for the image. And if you leave, then you're going to tell on me, and now everything's going to come crumbling
Right.
down.
Like
Even
not
though
having
both,
an NDA.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. And I'm sure that they didn't think they even needed an NDA because they were, the Murdaughs. They're in Murdaugh country.
What you haven't heard? We're lawyers. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
We're lawyers.
So I mean, honestly, I think that I again, him killing Josh, it's either that he didn't, if he went to trial, he knew he would be convicted, and he didn't want that on it. And I feel like Josh was the kid who wasn't going to be controlled. Does that make sense? Not
Yeah.
Josh, Paul.
Paul.
Why do I want to call him Paul?
I kept, but I knew you were talking about it too.
Yeah, the oldest.
We have a history on this show of calling people the wrong name, and he just looks like a Josh to me, I guess.
Joshy.
But Paul looked
Josh
like
Paul.
he looked like a kid that just didn't. By him taking
Rebellious.
the boat out and being very rebellious, and he's like, my dad's gonna take care of it. That's why I'm gonna do it,
Yeah.
And Buster, the older kid, seemed like the one. All accounts, he was the one who was the academic. He was the one who towed the line. He was. And not as much into hunting, but would, he went off to law school, shortly after the Stephen Smith was found. He kind of dropped off the face of the earth. Not many people knew where he went.
Looks pretty smart now.
I'm surprised he even made it to, I'm surprised that he's in jail. Like, I'm surprised that, because usually they go, oh, I mean, it's kind of like, the Alex Murdaugh case where she's at home and doing her little thing. I'm surprised he's even, because it's his town.
Much. It was way too much, and that's why it was such a
It
popular.
was so public
because it was so public and it was so ridiculous, and it was so poorly executed, and there were so many holes, and there were so many things that like piled up by that time. I mean,
well,
whatever.
Greed ultimately got him caught.
Of course.
And
greed, nepotism, greed.
Yeah.
The fact that he's never had to work for a fucking thing in his life. He was sent. He went to South Carolina, both South Carolina colleges. He just like, what do you think they're gonna not pass the Murdaughs? Like that guy's probably not even qualified. Right. Talk about DEI. That's DEI. You're right.
Yeah. Right.
So like, it happens so much, and it's all a big club, and you're not in it, and then like those people continue to have their club, and then the only way it's gonna happen is if somebody like throws a wrench. I'm sure that Jeffrey, his last name, was never going to be talked about if it wasn't just like boom, But
Jeffrey Dahmer.
No, don't even say.
You just said Jeffrey. That's what came into my head. You said Jeffrey.
Okay.
That's what came into my head right away.
Epstein.
Yes. We can't even say his name. Gotcha. Can't even say his name. So, but so that's the like. We never would have seen these clandestine things unless you throw a wrench in it and it blows up, and
Oh, absolutely. And
they have to show you what they have to show you to get out of it.
And again, in these situations, it's not only greed; it is the narcissism. Like, look at what I did.
Can't happen.
Come and get me. Yeah. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to prove it? And
no one's ever touched me before.
And honestly, initially he was doing well as far as covering things up, and then again, it's the greed that got him. Like you could have
It's the
only
he was fucked up on oxy, embezzling money, and then come on, I was like,
Yeah.
he's so fucked up. Like the oxy really got him because that took him over the
I
edge.
think
Some
so.
people don't
Yeah.
believe, but some people don't believe he was on ox. Some people say he just said that to,
I honestly
it-
thought that too. Initially, I thought he was saying that to have a little bit of time to take and make up another story or figure out a way to get out of it.
yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of people think, that, that he was.
But just
It
because
was
you
a
do
thing.
drugs doesn't mean that you don't like. I can sniff a bunch of cocaine and go kill somebody in a car, right?
Well, I mean, we've done a
You know what I'm
couple
saying?
cases like that. I'm just saying that a lot of people didn't believe he was on drugs because of his behavior. They think that he used it as like, maybe this
Or
will.
what?
I don't know if it was to stir something different in the case. I don't know. Like, for him to go, they didn't believe he was on drugs. Like the way that he
Well-
acted, he didn't show symptoms of a drug, like someone
Well-
who's on ox.
Remember, this is South Carolina. This ain't California. This ain't California. This is South Carolina. They got some of the hardest laws on the books. They got no gun laws. So like, there's no harsher state than this one, right? So and like,
I mean, they
they're
even
not gonna
allowed
let him
him.
walk.
They allowed him to go to rehab after being shot before they arrested him.
But then, see this?
They allowed him to go to rehab, which is insane, but they did only because he is a Murdaugh.
Murdaugh and Smith were indicted by the state grand jury on 2 counts of conspiracy counts, including a narcotics count related to oxycodone.
Oh, well, there we go. It's
There we
been
go.
proven.
So
Right
they
there.
even caught a narc charge.
Well, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well, so
But
I wanna know-
initially, I thought, is he trying to, go maybe get a lighter sentence for these things? Oh, it was just I was,
But do you
I
get
was
a lighter sentence if you're fucked up?
no, meaning because of his status in the community.
Okay.
people
what I
claim
mean?
to be insane, and they claim
Not
insanity.
insane, but
But he-
oh, poor me. I'm,
But-
poor rich guy. I got hooked on opioids.
Mm-hmm.
Take it easy on me. I wouldn't have
It was
done this.
immigrants.
It was more of the. I thought he was trying to play the sympathy card.
Yeah, and
You
a
know
lot
what
of
I mean?
a lot of people believe that. A lot of people
It's-
believe that
So
that was a card he was trying to play. The poor me, let me feel sorry for me because I was on this and this is what happened. I wasn't in the right state of mind because I was on these drugs. A lot of people believe that.
So I just want to say, like, and you can definitely, anybody can look this up, fact check me, but like, you can claim that you're insane, but then a psychiatrist and a psychologist have to
correct.
say you are.
You are correct.
So
You
like,
are
it's
correct.
not you can say it all you want, but then you have to be the best actor of all time because you have to prove.
Did they
that
ever
you're
do a drug check on him? Like,
Well, obviously he was convicted of a drug charge, so I would assume he at least had them in his possession. It was
It doesn't match. Man.
so,
Mhm.
but regardless, initially when it was brought up, I thought, oh, he's just trying to tug at the heartstrings of whatever jury. I had this opioid addiction. Why is that hard to say? It is not. I can say it any other
Opioid
day.
addiction.
Opioid addiction, and I
can say
embezzled all
circuit.
of the. I know what the fuck. I mean,
Fuck.
words
I
are
just wanna
always
say
hard for
doo-doo-doo.
me.
I just want to say due to addiction.
You do addiction.
But I think initially it was a ploy to maybe get a lighter sentence, again based on his station and how the dynasty of his family name was.
But we do agree that anybody else that would say like, oh, I was hooked on drugs, they'd be like,
and
okay,
they'd be like, fuck
sorry.
off.
Right. Okay.
No,
good.
exactly. No,
Yeah.
I think in his head, because he's a narcissist,
Mhm.
and he has had this dynasty of people getting away with things. He thought, oh, this is a way. This is another way. But
The guy lives on
again,
Murdaugh Street. Like he lives on his own street. Like it's
he lives in his own county for people.
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
it is the kingdom of Murdaughs down there. Not anymore. It has fallen.
Yep.
But that's what I
Mhm.
initially thought. But I mean, but they did allow him to go to rehab between arresting him for all of the fraud and bringing charges, and they allowed him to finish it out before they did all of that. I mean, that would not have happened had he been a regular
Of course. Citizen.
street level, just a
Yeah.
regular person. They'd have said, "Fuck you,
How do you
rehab
plead?
is
I
jail."
was on
Rehab is
oxycodone.
jail.
They're like, give me your oxycodone. Like we'll give you a charge for that too.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Rehab
got
is
right now a
jail. You
couple-
won't get it there. You
Rich
know.
people. Rich fucking
We have
people.
we have a couple people in the listeners right now. What are your guys' thoughts? What do you guys think? What do you guys let us know what you think in the comment? What which way you're going? Do you think he did it, or do you think the son did it, or do you think someone else did it? Let us know what you guys are thinking. I'd love to hear from the audience on what they think, on what their opinions are on this whole story, this case and everything. That would be great. So let us know in the comments. Would be really good.
Yes,
Pretty
absolutely.
well litigated. Like it was just like the biggest fucking story of all time. Let's see if we can play some of this. Like this.
The judge having charged the jury with the law that will apply in the trial.
Are we not
Where's
being
the
able to see it?
video?
Yeah,
I
don't
can
see
hear
the-
it.
Oh, there it is. I
There
can
we
hear
go.
it, but I don't. Oh, there we go.
The judge having charged the jury with the law that will apply in the trial of Alex Murdaugh has sent them to deliberations at 3:36 or so. They begin deliberating the fate of Alex Murdaugh in this double murder trial. The case is now in the hands of the jury. They'll begin their deliberations after South Carolina Circuit Court Judge Clifton Newman, you just heard him, read them their instructions on the law that they will apply to the facts that they have heard as they ascertain them. The prosecution took their last chance to explain why they believe why they believe they have proved Alex Murdaugh killed his wife, Maggie, and son, Paul. That rebuttal came after the defense lawyers had their closing arguments trying to convince the jury that their client's innocent. So let's bring in ABC News' M. Nguyen outside the Colleton County Courthouse in that small town in South Carolina, along with ABC News contributor and managing partner at the Cochran firm, Shauna Lloyd. So, Shauna, first, I just want to...
So you're right. Like we're never gonna get real closure because these people are not ever gonna fall from grace. There's like probably still some
No.
Murdaughs in there, huh? Like there's still
Well,
some that are holding
He
tight,
has
waiting for the
brothers, I'm
storm,
sure. Yeah.
right? Waiting for the
and-
storm to pass.
And honestly, I mean, based on his station and all, especially being convicted, part of me thinks he's got. Granted, he's lost weight, whatever. He's probably got special treatment even in jail.
For sure.
I don't
Oh,
know. This is
absolutely,
just me
for sure.
surmising, but I would
I can't deal
assume
with
that he
them.
would.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh,
They
for
probably
sure.
don't put him in Gen Pop. He's probably put a lot of people away. You know what I mean?
A lot.
Right. I mean,
Imagine how many people the Murdaughs have put away in the last 120 years.
Yeah, they're not.
half
Yeah.
of them are dead, but
For sure. For sure.
but no, the point because
they
of
hold
his
grudges.
station,
You know what I mean? Like South Carolina, like Kentucky, South Carolina people, like they all hold grudges. So it could have been your great grandpa, uncle. They hate you still, you know?
true. That is,
I
it's
think
like
you're
the
talking about a
Hatfields
family
and
feud.
McCoys. Yeah.
Right. Hatfields and McCoy.
No,
I'll kill
but
you, Hatfields. I hate you.
for a family that has ruled that area for over a century, I still think that. I mean, yeah,
Ruled.
is it the privilege that he had before? No, but does he get the normal jail experience as every other murderer that is out there? No, I don't believe that that's going to happen. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they somehow had figured out how to get a mistrial or overturn the verdict or appeal it. Again, I don't know. I hope they don't because I truly believe he did, but it's a lot.
So when asked why he lied at the time, he said his wife and son. Why he lied? He blamed his addiction to painkillers, which he said caused paranoid thinking.
But then again, feel sorry for me. I was
But
on
he's
drugs.
already-
I
he's-
wasn't
he's
in my
already-
state
he's
of
already charged.
mind.
He's already
Yeah,
sentenced.
Hold on, real quick. what did he say that was the lie about the last time he saw his wife and son? Was it that they had dinner together?
I don't remember. Yeah, because they weren't living
Because-
together.
Right. He in the documentary it said that they had all had dinner together. She went to look look after the dogs. Paul was roaming their compound or their estate.
Right.
And then he watched TV, took a little nap, and at 9 o'clock went to. So dinner got over probably 6:37. There's a whole hour there that he was sleeping on the couch watching TV,
Right.
and then he went to see his ma. He was on the phone. I know. Sorry, that's.
Oh no, I love it. I love it. He went to go see his mom.
That's the Italian in me. That's the how we say it. No, and then he said, or there it said that they had been texting. I love you, I miss you, blah blah blah. Well, they wouldn't have been texting between dinner. There was no reason for them to. But he was on the phone the whole time he was driving to his mom's house. He was on the phone the whole time he was driving back. But
to make sure he was visible and accounted for. Right.
Right, exactly. He had said he tried to call Maggie before he left and got no answer. Same with Paul. I think they might have been dead already.
He went for a drive. Yeah.
Right, and then he was I gotta cover my fucking 911. Yeah, I need an alibi.
Right. That's severely fucked up.
Well,
and then he goes. So Alex Murdaugh was called by his defense team. Let's put a bow on this. Alex Murdaugh was called by his defense team to testify, and he took the stand for several hours on February 23rd and 24th. During his testimony, he denied shooting his wife and son, but admitted to lying to the investigators about his whereabouts the night that he was out for the murders.
I need to know what he said, though.
I did lie to them, he said. I have your answer. He goes, I did lie to them, he said, and confirmed he was on the video at the kennels. So that was him. He confirmed it. And he said, I lied to the cops. When asked why he lied to the cops, that's what I said before. He blamed it on painkillers and it was paranoid thinking. And that's the reason why.
Yeah, well, that doesn't make. Okay,
I guess so.
Scroll back a little bit. I don't know.
Sure.
It looked like.
There you go. He also admitted to $10 million here.
Okay.
He admitted to stealing money from several clients, 100 other charges.
He admitted that, but didn't. Yeah. He admitted to that at least. He's like, fuck that. But he's still getting 40 years for that. So even if they overturn this verdict, which I hope they don't.
Anyway.
He's 56 years old.
We live a long time, us solicitors.
Currently, he's 56 years old. He was born in 68. And, 40 years takes you to, 96.
Yeah,
so, that's the rest of your life.
Defense presented two witnesses who refuted some of the state's assertions of how the shootings took place. Forensic pathologist Jonathan Eisenstadt testified that Paul Murdaugh's fatal shot to the head was delivered downward, not upward, as pathologist Dr. Ellen Reimer, who performed the autopsies on the bodies and the victims, previously testified for the state. Eisenstadt described it as a contact range shotgun to the head. What? So point blank shotgun to the head, dead as fuck, like the deadest. Kind of here's where they show it, where the shooting analysis is happening, and how it's the wrong trajectory. So it was, downward, not upward. So it looks like he was probably on his knees, right? Which is a fucking shit way to die. So they demonstrated it. They demonstrated it being shot and how they did it on Paul. And then the state attorney, General Alan Wilson, walked through the courtroom doorway past Kinsey, and then he turned and pointed the rifle over at Kinsey, bent over. Kinsey called it a preposterous theory. So they were going back and forth basically in the courtroom, and they're going to come to that.
But regardless of what trajectory it was, doesn't mean he did or did not do it. It's just the trajectory of where he was, right?
Well, because if it's above, and if it's above like this, now we're talking about execution style.
Yeah.
and that
Well,
and that's going to be
Isn't-
like
But isn't execution style anyway? It could be from from like this way. Isn't it execution style anyway? As long if it's on the head, above your nose, anything is execution style. It doesn't matter.
but that denotes like if you're doing it from up here, that denotes that you were on your knees, and there's like literally somebody shooting you on your knees. Like there's no,
Gotcha. Okay.
you know what I mean?
Okay.
I could be wrong, and it could be different state by state, but I'm thinking
no, I'm thinking
it's a
that's
thing
right.
about
Yeah.
like being on your knees and like
Okay.
please don't kill me, and then like still killing him, and then that's a difference between like life in prison without parole and like the death penalty.
Well,
Yeah,
he was
okay.
he had already been shot in the chest at point blank range with a
Right.
shotgun.
Right.
So I
It
mean,
don't matter. It don't matter no more.
the head wound, the head shot. He was already dead.
Oh god.
By all
1,000
accounts.
times over. Oh, his brains were all over the
I mean,
fucking everywhere.
Well, if he was shot in the chest first, it would have put because of how close it was. And if anybody knows anything about shotguns and
It's
their
red.
shells, it's a you have the gunpowder with a shell with BBs. And the reason it works, long range or for
Short range.
but short range, it's not going to spread out. It's going to be concentrated because it's just now coming out. So you're going to get all of those BBs all at once going here. And I mean, it would have virtually put a hole, like a gaping hole in him.
Elephant
I mean,
gun at that point.
In
Yeah.
his chest.
right.
He
He would have not survived that.
That's not an open wound. That's not an open casket.
No. Funny enough, you said open casket. That Stephen Smith kid who was murdered.
Yeah.
His sister requested, and they did this. His casket be open, so the people who did that to him could see.
Oh god.
Okay, so
He
remind
had
me who
half
Steven
of his.
Smith is?
He was the boy who was gay and probably killed for that.
Okay.
And he, because of the way he was beaten, half of
Mhm.
his face was just unrecognizable.
Mm.
And she wanted, if the killer or whoever, if somebody knew anything about what was going on was there, she wanted them to, because she also said, because I had to be, that was the last way I had to see him. I wanted everybody to see him that way.
Jeez.
Also, and something crazy, their
was it?
dad passed 3 months later of a heart attack, and their mom says he passed of a broken heart because their son had been brutally murdered. Is that the brothers?
Yeah. So to answer Rose's question from earlier, Alex Murdaugh has 2 brothers and 1 sister. Who are they? Right. Since we know that
They all
story,
look very much the same.
right. Just look for their fucking fire crotch, man.
They all look.
Ew.
The other ones are thinner though. Life wasn't that
What
great
about-
probably for them. They didn't get a lot of chicken, I guess, out there. And
Imagine the
look a lot
pubes.
thinner than-
You think it's how are the pubes? Are they fucking super red? Right? They're all right. You know it.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's the eyes that are the same for me, and it just freaks me out.
It's the the head.
The head shape, yes.
Yeah, that kind of that does it for me.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
So that's that.
For me.
Yeah. So that's it. So he's got, and they remember they appeared on Good Morning America, and here's
What
this guy.
aren't
Here's John Marvin.
John is okay. John is I'm having a hard time seeing. They're both lawyers, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So John Marvin Murdaugh is the younger brother of Alex Murdaugh and the youngest child of the former South Carolina 14th Circuit Solicitor Randolph Murdaugh. Remember the third, born in 1970. Remember he was born in 68.
Oh, he did
was
not
younger
pursue
brother.
law, but his
He has a
other
B-
brother did. Randy did, though, I believe.
But he still has a BA in criminal justice, I guess.
Yeah. So he's a cop.
Nice. Yeah, cop.
He's still there.
Yeah. So what about Randy? Because he's
Go
I'm
go
pretty
back
sure-
down for a minute. Wait, go back down. Go back
What?
down for a minute. Is that can you go back, scroll down a
Okay,
little bit?
okay.
Sorry. I want to see. Okay, we'll keep going down. Is that no? That's the dad, right? Right there. Who's that at the bottom in that picture?
Yeah, that's him with his father.
Okay. For a minute, I thought that was
no, not Buster.
Alex.
Randolph.
It was Randolph. Yeah.
Randy.
and Randy.
I thought for a
only have-
minute, like far away, it looked like that was Alex, and I'm like, damn,
Mhm.
these fuckers are tall. And then that's why I was like asking.
But their
you.
dad wasn't overtly tall, I don't think. But I don't know. It's
Well, they're assholes. They're tall assholes. Who gives a shit?
yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Everybody fucking die in a ditch. I don't give a fuck about these people.
I'm pretty sure the other brother is a lawyer though. Randy. Not
Ugh.
yeah.
Randy's definitely a lawyer.
No, he is because I remember watching the documentary and thinking, yeah, you piece of
I
poop.
remember watching this a while ago, and I didn't rewatch it. I just looked at articles. So
Mhm.
it was.
I watched the one on Max today. Like,
Hmm.
that's why it's so fresh in my brain.
It was a hell of
Oh.
a. It was good. It was well done. And if you guys haven't seen it, it's definitely on
It was.
Max. I'm sorry, Netflix and Max and a couple other ones. In fact,
Mhm.
if you guys want to follow up on this, the eldest son is suing all of the. If you just look that up, you'll see all the people
Yeah.
that he's suing, and then you can see all the documentaries made. So 2 birds,
He
1 stone.
actually, and I didn't get to watch it all, but he has done. I only found one interview that the oldest son has done since and after all of the documentaries have come out. And I didn't get to watch it. I was kind of in a place where I couldn't, but I thought that was interesting. I mean, he could have probably definitely participated in any of those documentaries saying, hey, let's
Sure.
tell a different story, but he didn't, and he
Yeah.
did one interview, I think.
Maybe there was not
I don't
enough
know.
money that he, what he wanted to get paid for the story, because
It
they
was
all
done
have
though.
money.
It was done. Like the story was out already. There was no like salacious thing.
So
to
he's
say.
like, so people were like, fuck you, we don't need to give you any money. If you either want to talk to us, fine. If not,
That,
it's your
or
deal.
he goes,
So
I
to
don't
do-
want you really digging into my past, so I'm
Right,
gonna just
that
let
too.
it
Yeah.
be.
Let it be and let
But
it go.
whatever I do to them, they're gonna do to me. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
So,
Yep.
folks, we are coming up to the last 10 minutes of our show. And this has been a roller coaster of a story because it's been really interesting. And it's like, I'm telling you, every time I jump onto one of these stories, it's like a little bit of my bubble keeps chipping away. Chip away.
Oh, Rose. One
So-
day you'll be as jaded as AC and I.
Yes.
You're gonna be cynical and jaded, and you're gonna look at everything
Mhm.
through a lens of like, who's trying
You're
to
gonna
hurt
be like-
me? And
You're gonna be like, he fucking did it. I don't even have any sympathy for any of these motherfuckers.
And
Now
then
you're like, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he's,
Hey, who are you voting for?
covering up.
Votes don't fucking count,
Mickey Mouse.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
My vote
It's like
goes to Mickey
people so
Mouse.
jaded, they're just like, blah. Like, oh
I
shit.
go
this
back to
guy's-
La La Land. I want to go back to La La Land. So thank you, everyone. And if you guys have any stories or something you've been following and you want us to do a deep dive into it, let us know on Instagram or here on YouTube. Send us a message and we'll deep dive into it. That's what we love to do. And
Certainly.
on Monday nights, don't forget to follow us on Monday nights on YouTube. We do YouTube, Twitch. Go ahead and click on the thing. Follow us there. We do a show on highlights on certain stories that we follow anywhere.
We do headline stories. Yeah, a
Headlines.
headline show.
Highlights. Don't mind me. I've been drinking a little bit too
Whatever
much.
word,
it's
whatever
fine.
word is not the word. If it's headlights,
Yeah.
it's highlights. Highlights.
So headlines, we do our headline show
Mhm.
on Mondays. We also try to update you on things like Gypsy Rose, or if we see something come across that we've done a story on, or even a news story, a headline that we've done. We can give those updates,
Incorporate.
but it's really an update and headline show. It's only an hour or a little over, depending on how many great headlines we have. But
Or how much tequila?
yeah, how
That too.
great of a time we're having together. But no, I mean, it's a really fun show. It's a kind of a quick version. We don't really deep dive. We have quick conversations, and then Friday shows are deep dives where we can talk for 2 hours about a specific subject. And oh my gosh, AC, are you excited for next Friday?
Oh my god, I can't believe this. I can't believe it's happening.
I'm so excited. I
I
cannot
have to
wait.
remind her. She might have forgotten, like so I got to be like,
Well,
and we're doing
That-
Deadpool, right?
Yes, Deadpool. Wade
that
Wilson.
guy, Wade Wilson. Also, if you guys have a
Wade Wilson.
cocktail that maybe
Yeah.
you want us to, there's a drink that you absolutely love and you want to share with us, let us know. We'll go ahead and put it into one of our stories. And
Yeah. Once I get back home, we'll be better at those cocktails. Headline shows are going to be kind of be dealer's choice, whatever we want to drink that night. But definitely upcoming. We'll try to either fit it to the story, or if it's something that you guys want us to try, we'll definitely do that. We'll get better
Certainly.
at that as well.
Yeah.
And we are true crime and cocktails, right?
Yeah.
yes,
And then
especially 4th of July and stuff. We're all over the place right now. So
there's a lot
please
going on.
forgive us.
But we'll
Yeah.
reset. Please forgive us for not getting drunk regionally. But
Yes.
Right.
when we get like a story in New York, we'll do a Manhattan, Texas, things like that. Kentucky, we have to try to find Kentucky murderers.
Yeah.
So we can
Yeah.
drink bourbon. I want to drink bourbon and mint juleps.
I want to
You
do
want an old
whiskey
fashioned.
because I've
Yeah.
got a good friend of mine that released her whiskey on Thursday. So I want to do whiskey because I got a bottle of it and I want to feature it on our thing. So I'm super excited. But yeah, no, I'd like to do whiskey. So I don't know where. Oh,
Yeah, so we're putting it out there to you folks. We got at least I see 10 people on right now. If there is a cocktail that you'd like, or if
Don't
you
ignore us.
have if you have a story or something that you think could relate to that or whatever, we'll figure out the cocktail. You give us the story. We just want to cater to you, and if it's something that is near and dear to your heart, or just something you've always wanted us to do a deep dive on, let us fucking know. DM the Roses Are Red podcast on IG. You can message us on our recordings. You can message us right here. We don't care. Let us know. Let us know
Yeah.
what you'd like to hear and what you'd like us to do.
You can send me
Absolutely.
a dirty picture with 2AC.
And-
one of those
and also-
one of those pens that when you go like this, the look at those bikini comes off.
and please don't forget to subscribe because
Absolutely.
it so you don't miss a beat with us. Like you won't miss you'll get notified when we go live every Friday and Mondays when I do our shows. And also on Monday nights we're also behind the end watching the show with you guys because they are pre-recorded. We're on the back ends answering any questions or any comments you guys have. We're on the back ends answering them. So please leave us a comment there too. We appreciate it. And like I said,
It's
don't
just
forget to
us going,
subscribe.
bro, that was crazy. Bro, that was crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
We just put bro, that was crazy a lot.
Yeah.
Well, it's really fun because
I love it. I love that.
We sleep a few times between recording and posting, and it's nice to kind of go back. It's also nice to hear your opinions and things on what we're talking about, real time, and be able to not just verbally answer you, but write back a comment and have that type of conversation.
And I can
So-
thoughtfully get back to you instead of like,
Right? Exactly. Let me
That's
think
me.
how I want to say this. I know
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Scream. I'm gonna berate this person.
So so that concludes our show for tonight. You guys have any
Yeah.
That was
real
awesome.
quick update on the real quick before I forget. It's getting pretty nasty on the Gypsy Rose case, and her ex-husband is starting to speak out more and more and is coming out with more proofs. And he's actually doing this on TikTok. He's not even doing that. He's going live on TikTok and doing these. So I will, on our next show, I will make sure I get all those video clips together to show you guys all the updates. So
That's
stay
awesome.
tuned, everyone, for our next headline. I was going to say headlight.
Headline.
One
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 headline.
headlight. I thought the same thing.
show and stay tuned. Like I said, subscribe. Share, like, and follow. We would
Yes.
really appreciate it. Our goal is to try to get that 500. We're so close to getting 500. So please help us out. We'd really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And so with that said, you guys have anything to say?
I think you said it
Honestly, with this case, I have to say, I remember it being on the news. I never deep dived into it, and as I was deep diving into this story. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? There were so many things. I was like, oh wait, there's another layer. Oh wait, there's what? Holy cow, how the fuck did it get to this point where it should have been nipped in the bud so far back? And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the dynasty, but I was just like, holy shit, the audacity of this family
And the
to
nepotism,
continue.
the nepotism gives you
Yes.
like a disgusting twinge. You're like, ew, bro. They let this
Ugh.
happen, and then it's like, just like
Exactly.
constantly through the years, it's like, oh, another Murdaugh, a sweet tea, you know, whatever.
The
Right.
fact of
What?
no fear, the fact that they had no fear of anything, like they were just, even the kids.
Does the lion feed? Does the lion fear the sheep?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I
You know,
mean,
they don't even think about him. They don't even think about it. Yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
sad. Ugh, it's disgusting.
It's just crazy. It's just
Get out of here, Murdaughs. Get the fuck out of here.
So thank you, everyone. I've had a wonderful night. I hope you guys did too and enjoyed us,
Yes.
enjoyed our discussion. And if you're listening to us on any other channel, which is like iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, and you guys want to see one, what we look like, because we are live. Two, if you want to see any of the things that we show, any posts or any pictures of any story we do, come join us on YouTube. You
Yeah.
can, any one of us, you know, Midnight Media, the Married Couple Pod, any one of us, we're live. So,
Yes.
and make
Any one of us.
sure, yeah, and hit that like and follow. And Sam, where can they find you another day out of the week besides our show? What is the other day?
Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time, I do How Was Your Day with my husband. We are the Married Couple Podcast. Come in and join us. It's a lighthearted show where we talk about our day. We invite you in to tell us about your day, and I do news stories, not as heavy as the ones we do on this show. They're usually stupid criminal ones where we can make a joke. I mean, don't get me wrong, we make jokes on this show too, but it's not as heavy. There are specific ones that I actually save for our show as opposed to the ones I do on Hours Your Day and vice versa. And then Dave usually has a top 10 or we have a guest. I mean, AC's been a guest. Rose, you've been a guest. It's really a fun show to do. We liken it kind of morning a talk show combined with a late night show, like
It's
a
like a
Johnny
badass
Carson.
variety show.
It is a great show. Yeah.
It's a variety
a
show where like a lot
fucking
of people
funny.
like show up, and there's a lot of ancillary characters that are not
Yes.
necessarily on screen with you guys, but they're
Mm-mm.
felt throughout the show. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yes, I agree. And honestly, we get pretty inappropriate and it's fun as fuck. It really is.
Perfect. You need that good laugh in the middle of the week. This is the show you want to be. It's just so perfect because it's in the middle of the week where you're like, fuck, it's hump day.
Oh
Not
my gosh.
not like that, but I mean, you know, it's
We replayed our 101st episode just this past Wednesday because I'm out here. Dave decided he didn't want to do a show live while I was out of town. And as much as I loved rewatching that show, never tell anybody your weaknesses, folks, because I let everybody know I hate the song Sweet Caroline. It's already out there now. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, but it was
Sucks.
so much fun.
I hate it too, by the way. I fucking hate it.
I
I've
know,
always been
I know
around.
you do. I know. You and I are kindred in that respect.
I
I
despise that fucking song.
fucking can't stand it.
Like, stop.
It was a funny episode though. There was one point where I almost melted out of the seat.
That's fucking
It
weird.
was really fun listening all back together and commenting again. It's just a different vibe re-listening and doing those types of things. So
and
you
seeing
know.
yourself in there, like commenting what you were commenting, then like,
Yes.
like, oh, there I come. Like 30 minutes later, I was like, hey guys, I was like, fucking late, asshole. You know,
No, you're not. But I
late.
appreciate you guys listening. Well, we're late. You're always late. It's fine. No, I'm joking. Not always.
You should have shut the fuck up right there.
No, I love you both for listening, and I love our little family that we have here.
Yeah, it's
but
awesome.
yes, find us on Wednesday nights. AC,
Mm.
what are you doing with Midnight Media?
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot.
Yep.
I am actually compiling a bunch of stuff on AI, and I have another segment that I want to do. I don't know if I'm probably gonna break it up into like 3, like I did the UFO one.
Okay.
And figure out who I want to do. But Jay Nunya would be great. I'd love to talk to him. But another like what chatbots are now, and
Okay.
what's going to happen with I'm going to explain AI. We're going to make AI art. We're going to explore what it is. I'm going to answer questions. If I don't know, we're going to figure it out. Right. We're also going to talk about sex robots, like what the state of the art is with sex robots, where that's at. We're going to look at real dolls compared to when you're going to actually fuck an AI. And that's
Right.
I like to find the line, like I want to see where we're at, like where are we, how far away, like at this point people are saying we're 2 years away from the singularity, which is like when robot AI can self-replicate themselves. They're smart enough to make themselves smarter than them,
Right.
and then that's the issue right there, because we can't stop it. But
Dave
so
Dave says, or I
chatbots
could
and
do it.
AI girlfriends and AI girlfriends is like a fucking crazy phenomenon, and it's like a phone and a girl dance with you, and like it's a text thing. So I downloaded a couple of them. I want to share my phone and explore them.
That's awesome.
So look out for that, but I want to do it right. I just can't. It's a lot of moving parts. So
Right.
You got Dave.
Dave's
much media.
volunteering his tribute to help you with one of those.
Produce
shows.
me. That'd be awesome.
So, and
dude.
where can they find? And where can they find you, AC? If they are trying
Yeah.
to find AC Midnight Media, where can they find
They're
you?
looking. You can do this. So when you see that right there, Midnight Media, it's probably going to be the third one down. But you can also click on the Roses Red podcast. I'm going to have a link there because she's.
Yes.
I'm one of her preferred channels. And then when you click that, this moth symbol, just remember the midnight moth, and just go over there and give me a follow. It's like 1.65 thousand strong. Yeah. Almost 1.7 thousand people.
You're also linked on ours as well, on the Married Couple.
Yeah, you can do that too. So you can find me there. And that's
any
all.
of us three, you'll find us. Any of our channels will be on us three.
Yeah.
You'll find us there. And if not, even Facebook, Instagram, and fucking
downloading an AI girlfriend right now. Of course he is. I'm not there. I haven't been there for almost 10 days.
Boy, I don't know if we're gonna have. I don't even know if we're gonna have a next Friday. If it wasn't for Allie, I think we wouldn't have a next Friday show. I think Sam would be MIA for until the following week.
No. It's nice that he's listening.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining us. Like I said, join the Wednesday nights at the Married Couple podcast. Midnight Media. You can find them on any channel or link up to us and let us know what you guys have, any stories or any cocktails, anything. We'll be more than happy.
Anything, please, anything.
Hey, Rose, were you gonna announce for our listeners that we might do things a little early for our recorded shows?
Absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. So if you are subscribed to iHeartRadio, Amazon, or Spotify, our recorded shows are going to be posted before Monday night. So if you want to get ahead of the game and you want to listen to it, we'll be posting them ahead. We record on Tuesday. They'll be posted Thursday nights. So you want to get ahead of that and you want to listen to it before and then comment on our Monday night show, at least you know what you're up for. And that's what's going to be happening. So to give you, a heads up. And like I said, subscribe, shike.
Shike and prescribe.
It's been a long day. It's been a long 2 days. And here's the weekend. So share, like, and follow. We're also there, and we will be posting early our shows that we pre-record, so you'll be able to listen to
on audio versions. On audio versions.
Yes. So
to see our lovely faces, join us Monday nights.
Absolutely, or Friday. And next Friday we'll have the lovely Mrs. AC, the lovely Mrs. Midnight Media will be with us, joining us for an amazing story we got for you guys. So,
Papa Midnight and Mama Midnight.
Yes, Papa Midnight, Mama Midnight.
That's right.
So
love it.
We love you guys. And I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July and enjoy your fucking weekend and drink up. And we will see you Monday night on a recording. Bye.
Don't kill anybody. If you do, let us know so we can talk about it.
We can do your story.
Right.
Exclusive.
And if you want, we'll go to the jail cell too. Don't worry. We'll go to the jail cell too. Let us know. Love everyone. Good night, everyone. See you on Monday night. Bye.
Bye.